All right, welcome in. It's time for Total Bases. It's Tuesday, which means it's $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk, which means the three of us will have plays up for sale for just $5. I was actually, I locked mine in right before the show, was scrambling to get it up there, and I didn't even check to see if it worked correctly. It did. It's up there for $5. I'm sure the other two guys have plays for sale. I think the three of us all had pretty good nights last night. We cashed the parlay for like the third or fourth time, Bryan Leonard, and then we'll get TV in here before we get into our feature game. We've basically hit the parlay to get back to even on the parlays, right around even. So we got to hit another one today. But I think you swept your client card last night. So tell me how your night went.
Yeah, it was pretty easily too. 5-0 yesterday. We had the over in the Sacramento game, but we also loved the over in the Philadelphia game, which was our free play on the show yesterday, part of the parlay. I mentioned how the wind was blowing out in the heat. It's easier to hit in the heat, and it worked out that well. For today's card, basically, unless you're playing in a dome, it's a pretty good hitting environment because you're getting temperatures in the 80s. And some of them, the winds are blowing out. So, if you like run scoring yesterday, you'll probably love it again today. And, I have put up a 4% play. It's up there right now for only $5. 22-6 run, number one to the last three, number one to the last seven, number one all-time going back over a decade. So, some great specials going today, going until midnight tonight, actually. So, we'll let you guys explore on that. But it's a great day for all of us. And it's always a nice day when we hit our parlay.
TB, we got to get you in here. Tell us about your night and also tell us about those great specials that expire at midnight. So this is the last day to take advantage of it. Take it away.
I didn't quite go 5-0 like someone on this panel, but I did have a winning day. Can't complain about that. I think I've had 3 winning days in a row, and I just won Kia on the money line about 2 hours ago in the KBO. My KBO, I'm winning 69% on plus 65 units in KBO this calendar year. Yeah. Johnny just shared the stats. You're up pretty big on KBO as well. So we're both doing pretty good in KBO. The special, there's one, it's $5 Tuesday, first of all, but the big special is if you use code MLB 100 on the entire MLB season from now to the end of the World Series, you'll get $100 off. So go to WagerTalk.com and use MLB 100 to get a huge discount for cappers rest of the MLB season. $5 Tuesday as well. So it's a bonanza. Shall I talk about expound on the Yankees or?
No, I'll go to you first for that. This is a worthy feature game that we have today. It is on national TV here in the States and TBS, but this is what you expect with a feature game. You got Tarek Skubal, you got Cam Schlittler. This is just it doesn't you really don't get much better than this from two great pitchers, two solid teams. Some would say that someone have pushback on solid team at this point or at this moment for the Yankees, who have not played great. But you look at the full body of work. They're still one of the best teams in baseball, and we have two of the best pitchers. So TB, start us off. Yankees Tigers, big game tonight.
Sure. I do have my play out. I think I have 3 MLB plays, and one of them is a 4% play. They're all $5. Brian's got a 4% for $5. Adam will have something out as well. Adam already has it out, and Brian will probably too. So $5 Tuesday, guys. The way the Yankees are hitting, have they scored 3 runs in a game like this week? They're so bad, which is surprising because they started the season off with a bang, and right when Judge went out, they were still like clicking pretty well. But they're not anymore. This team's hitting worse. What do I have them ranked? 27 out of 30 right now in current form. And you're telling me that you can get the Tigers with that bullpen hitting 11 points better than the Yankees with Tarek Skubal for plus 130? That seems a little off. Why are the Yankees this big a favorite? Yes, Cam Schlittler's having a wonderful year. Actually, in my rankings of 250 pitchers, this is not current form, but this is on the season. I have Skubal ranked 3 and I have Schlittler ranked 4. So you could probably juxtapose 1 through 5, and no one will argue with you. Otani's probably up there as well, but plus 130 for Tarek Skubal and this Tigers team seems really odd, especially considering how horrible and flaccid the Yankee bats are right now. That's my take on it. I don't know if I'm going to do it because the Yankees certainly will break out of this, but I don't think they're going to break out of it against Skubal. Skubal hasn't really been the automatic that he was last year yet in current form, but he's got talent. So what are your guys' thoughts?
Well, Brian, I'll go to you and then I'll sort of close it out. But I mean, should it come as a huge surprise that the Yankees are playing a little worse without Aaron Judge? I mean, we now have a 5-year sample of the Yankees playing roughly 400 ball without him. They had that little hot streak, but I don't know. I guess this isn't as surprising to me. I just wish I played against them a little bit more. I'm kicking myself. I feel like I should have made a few more dollars on this. But yeah, Yankees, Tigers to you. How are you seeing it?
Yeah, nothing worse than something that you missed when you're betting. And it's the Yankees have not been hitting, but still, if this matchup came out earlier the season, will we get a higher number on the Yankees? I don't know. Terry Skubal, if you've watched him play, basically the only people that are scoring against him are guys hitting home runs. He's usually a pretty good pitcher at suppressing the home runs. He has not been. So if you're looking at the fly ball to home run ratio, it's bad luck. So is he as good as he was earlier before the surgery? Maybe not, but pretty close. If you take away the home runs he's given up, which are pretty random in that regard, he's not given up a lot of home runs in his career, and he has now. I just think that's a small sample size situation. So I'm kind of in agreement with TB. To get Detroit as an underdog here is the way I'd like to go. The only problem is Schlittler almost did it. Schlittler,
you're going to get suspended.
That's right, yeah. But he's pitched just as well as he can lately, and he's been very good. And he's pitched at home, and he's been very good here. The Yankees have not hit lefties very well since Judge has been out. And so if I'm looking at this game, I want to play Detroit somehow. Do we get him in the first 5? I don't know. I don't know if I want to go against Schlittler. But if you look at these teams on the season, Detroit, despite being, 13 games under 500, they've now outscored the opposition on the season. And I mentioned this a while back. I said, Detroit's not dead. Detroit's coming back. And once they get either Skubal back to pitch for him, or they trade him away for some guys that can help fill out that lineup, they're going to be better. And so they survived the month without Skubal, 3 weeks or whatever it was. And they're in pretty good shape right now, and they're gaining confidence. And I want to find a way to play Detroit, but I don't want to play against Schlittler. Yeah, we got, like I mentioned yesterday, all the games are on the evening card. We don't got to play anything now. Maybe we'll get some better lines later on. But, I'm seeing some short places down to, the 125 range on the Yankees now. So maybe this could be the best line we get on Detroit. We'll have to see. But this is a pretty solid card. I'm going to revisit this later on today.
Yeah, this is a interesting game. I will point out, so we talked about this game last week. With not this exact game, but we talked about Yankees Tigers with Skubal on the mound last week. The difference was he was up against Ryan Weathers. I liked the over on that show, and thinking back on it, I'm very surprised that it didn't hit. Looking back on that game, you had Tarek Skubal came in, kind of did what I expected him to do. Remember, he had a surgery. Well, he had an operation to remove some I think they call them loose bodies. Maybe it's basically like bone chips or something in his elbow. that he came back from very, very quickly, much quicker than the average person would typically come back from having that operation. He only made one rehab start. And I noted that, he really still looked like he was rehabbing even at the big league level. Brian, go ahead. What were you going to add there?
Yeah, I was just going to point out that that's a new procedure. So there's really nothing to compare it to. The lefty for the Dodgers has also had the same thing happen. So yeah, we really didn't know how long it was going to be, but it's been pretty impressive that he was able to come back that soon.
Right, but so here my point is this though. Yeah, it's been impressive that he's been able to come back. Has he really looked like the Tariq Skubal that you would expect? I mean, he's been okay. The 9 strikeouts last time out were good. Still gave up 4 runs. The White Sox should have got him for more in that previous start. He got out of a bases loaded jam with 1 out in the 5th. Like the White Sox were one swing away from opening that game up against him, and he ended up getting into the 6th inning, 3 runs on 7 hits. Was fortunate to get out of that game, not giving up more. The game prior to that was not overly impressive against Cleveland, only lasted 4 2/3 innings. So I look at this a couple different ways. One, yes, Yankees, no Judge. That's, but that's kind of been more than, that's been priced in. And when you're going back to what you said, it's like, I don't really feel like I've missed the opportunity to fade the Yankees because I think the books have kind of been sharp to this. I feel like the books have been putting out very favorable prices on the Yankees going on over a week now. So it's like they've almost been baiting you to take the Yankees at some of these numbers. Hasn't been much value fading them. I think, I'm seeing some of the chatter in the comments saying, well, Skubal's the value here. Yeah, but do you know what are you getting Cy Young, Tariq Skubal? Because that hasn't been the guy that's been back here yet. He's been good. Like I said, the 9 strikeouts are good over 6 innings, but he still gave up the 4 earned runs. If the Tigers can get something off Schlittler, I think this goes over easily. And if you can get the 7 flat, right now you see some 7.5 is plus money. I would spend the juice if it's like minus 120 and you can get an over 7 here, because that way if they somehow both find their way to 3 or free rolling, I kind of like that. My numbers are 7.7, so it shows value against the over 7.5. But if you can get a 7 flat, even if you have to lay minus 120, minus 125, I think that's a good bet. I don't think either of these teams are just going to get wiped out in this game. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. While you were speaking, I went to the game logs at fangraphs.com. Terrific website. Well worth the $85, whatever you pay for the season. They have game scores. And if you look at the first 7 starts from Skubal this year, his lowest game score was 42. All the other ones were in the 60s and 70s. Since he's come back, now keep in mind he's played Cleveland, not a good hitting team, the White Sox and the Yankees. His game scores have been 46 against the Yankees, 44 against Cleveland, and 44 against the White Sox. So, yeah, but as I mentioned, it's the home runs as opposed to just nickel and diming him. So, yeah, if you take a look at the numbers, he's not been the same. I'm just saying that with the way he's hit the home runs, I could if you get that over 7, I wouldn't have a problem going with that either.
Listen, numbers are great and everything. Sometimes using your eyeballs helps. Okay, I've watched every pitch of that White Sox game. He could have given up 8 runs in that game. The stuff has not looked the same since he's come back. I'm sure he's going to figure it out. But also, this is a guy that's like, it's June. I don't care if you've watched him since he's come back. That's not the dude that goes out there and shoves for 8 innings, gives up 1 run, strikes out 11, and is the ace that he's being priced as here. TB, do you want to add something there? Yeah, Sean, I see it. Go ahead.
Just a 5-second point. I just pulled up the last 10 games for all MLB teams. Yankees rank dead last. They're scoring 2.6 runs per game. The next to last team is the Mets. So there's a lot of stink coming out of New York right now.
Just not
all right. We got the chat's annoyed. The chat's annoyed that we're still on this game. So we're gonna move it along. Listen, there's a lot of people that had opinions on this, so I felt like we should continue to go on it. But we have an annoyed chat. They want to talk a different game. So let's go to Mike S. TB, that's a good segue. Let's talk about the other New York team. that continues to stink the joint up here, which is the Mets, who, the Little League homer to start the game last day. It's just one thing after another. They're firing the manager. Mr. Met is dancing in the background. It's an unserious team this year. It's just, yeah, you're right, TB. They need to bring Grimace back because Grimace kind of saved the season for them a couple of years ago. Nolan McLean might be able to save them at least for today. Mike S says Mets plus 105 with McLean on the mound. Best arms in the bullpen available for the Mets. Heavy lean to the Mets in this spot against the Jays. I kind of agree with Mike here. Tokyo Brandon, Mets or Jays? How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I really badmouthed both of these teams yesterday, and if any of you watched that game, I was kind of right. Paint drying was probably more exciting than that game, but someone has to win, and it ended up being so. How do we approach this one? I kind of agree with what you just said. I like the Mets here. Gausman not looking himself right now, and his stats against these batters are really bad. He's got a 368 average against and a 1223 OPS in 38 at-bats against. I think the Mets will definitely be able to score a lot more than they did yesterday, which was 1 run. Bullpen-wise, Mets have a huge advantage. The Mets bullpen is actually playing really well despite the team's struggles, where the Blue Jays is not. I got the Blue Jays ranked 22. Talent aside, yes, I know the Blue Jays do have talent in their bullpen, but they're not playing well right now. And I got McLean ranked a lot higher than Gausman, so it would be Mets or nothing if I were to bet this game, but I am not that silly, so I won't be.
Brian, you liked the Jays yesterday. They came through. Not sure if that was one of your 5 as part of your 5. And no, it was one that I considered. I only had one game last night. I forgot to, hype myself up at the beginning of the show. One play for me yesterday, 5% play. It won. It's my 5th straight 5% winner. So just wanted to throw that out there. But the Jays would have been that was kind of a close second for me yesterday. Again, didn't make my card, but we did touch on it on the show. Jays, Mets, to you. Do you want to come back with the Jays? Or are you going to go the other way here?
Yeah, I think the number's right here. I'm looking at 115s, 120s, and with a total of 8. I somewhat disagree with TC. I kind of like the under a little bit here. As was pointed out, the Mets bullpen is in great shape. The reason why I don't want Toronto is because their bullpen is not in great shape, and they've had to use the closer the last 2 days. Gausman will give you a good solid 6 innings, but after that, there's definite advantage for the Mets. Don't think either team is hitting the ball very well, and I don't think they're going to hit very well against these 2 pitchers. McLean's been a little bit of a disappointment. Started the season very well, and he's a little bit regression coming back. That is a concern, but Toronto is a team that doesn't see him very often. I'm not even sure if they've seen him at all. So that gives the pitchers an advantage. So I kind of like the under 8. Don't know if I'll get there with it, but I don't trust either one of these offenses right now.
Someone in the comments goes, we stopped talking about the Yankees to talk about the Mets. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough in these parts right now here in New York. Man, I just think back when I was growing up. I mean, these teams never lost. Like the Yankees never lost. The Mets were in the mix for a while, and now it's just like you have this huge payroll. The Mets, they get Lindor back the other day. Like again, I've said it on the show probably 5 times this year. Every time you think that this team might turn a corner, and then they did the ultimate turn a corner move and fired their manager, and even that couldn't get them going. It would be TV. I'm with you. It would be Mets or pass for me tonight. I do think McLean. I still am higher on McLean than the market. Here's what I do like for the Mets in this game. I like the fact that Gausman hasn't really been better than McLean. Like if anything, like I think those two I would prefer McLean over Gausman. I think it's fair to say it's a wash. The Blue Jays definitely in a worse bullpen situation here than the Mets are. So I would go with the Mets plus 103. It did actually show a little value to me on my numbers. I would go as far as to say I'm considering it and that I thought about using it for the parlay, but I'm going to I'm gonna hold that off. We'll circle back by the end of the show. And let's go to the. Someone said
when I was growing up, these two teams did more cocaine than the entire city of New York.
Yeah, those the 80s was a time.
Dwight Gooden
I
years.
would hanging out. Yeah, I would have loved to hang out with that Mets team in the 80s for one day. Yeah, that's the stories are
Hernandez and
Gooden. People like the hat. This is he goes, Adam rocking the Twin Peaks happy hour hat. This is a Norfolk Tides hat. I was in Norfolk on Sunday. I was joking. I got out of the Flying Squirrels team store without buying anything. Norfolk got me. Norfolk got me for a hat. So this is the Norfolk Tides
credit card made an appearance.
The credit card's gonna need to get paid off in a few days. I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah. But anyway, let's go back. So Freebird's on like a Euro trip right now. I think he was in Italy. Now he's in Switzerland. That's pretty. And he continues from across the pond to donate. We very much appreciate it. All the donations that come into this show go to a charity of the home office's choice. We've worked with a few different ones. We very much appreciate it. Tokyo Brandon, I'm putting you on the spot because every time he brings this up, every time I go to you for a game and we talk about it and it wins. So he says, thanks, gentlemen. Can we discuss the best game totals and team totals with low juice for today? So Tokyo Brandon, give us a game that's got either, in your opinion, give us either your favorite team total or your favorite full game total, and we'll talk about that game.
Well, it's a game we already covered, but I'll bring up another.
Give us a game we haven't covered. Give us a game we haven't covered.
The Yankees under 3.5 would definitely be the best team total of the day, in my opinion. But I'll bring up a different game that we can talk about. Let's talk about the Padres Cubs, because I'm actually interested in your guys' thoughts on this game because I don't really know how to approach this one. I mean, Boyd has been a very solid pitcher. But yeah, I mean, he's solid this year too. Sears is a guy who I really liked when he was with the A's. Not sure what to make of him this year, but the Cubs have the better hitting, the better bullpen, at least in current form. Talent-wise, San Diego's bullpen is better, but current form, they're pretty equal. But I really don't know what to make of this game, so I'm bringing it up so I can hear other people's opinions. But for me, I think it would be the Cubs or nothing. But is Sears still the guy he was in Oakland, or is he dropping off? How is he going to be on the road? What do you guys think?
Well, TB, I'll talk about Sears, but I want to go to the weatherman, Bryan Leonard, first, because I think that might play into the handicap here.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the only places other than T-Mobile Park, which is a good pitcher's park anyway, the next three are the Rogers Center, Toronto. They can park in Houston and Chase Field in Arizona. Other than that, every other team is expected to score more runs in a game today, either because of the weather or the wind. So that's what you have to take a look at here when you're looking at totals. The Cubs, Wrigley Field's blowing straight out. This could be a warm day. They're expecting 29% more runs, which is 2.5 runs basically. When the wind is blowing out in Chicago, it's as TB would say, a monkey ballpark sometimes. So that is something to be concerned about. I do like Boyd in this game because San Diego doesn't hit lefties, but Boyd's coming back from injuries, only had I believe one start since then. So don't have much on that game. But as for looking at team totals that I like, I've got one that I'm going to use as my my parlay.
We're going to go to your game in a second. Let me finish talking about Padres Cubs, and then we'll go to whatever game you're looking at. If I was going to give a total today, this over would be up there on the list. When I tweak my numbers for weather and for some bullpen usage from the Cubs, I'm coming up with 11.3 runs. And I think, what are we looking at for a total in this game? It's got to be up there, like 11 or 11. And I would want the 11. I think you can get a juiced 11 or no.
There's a couple of 11s out there, minus 120. It's between 11 minus 120 or under 11.5 minus 120.
Yeah, the thing I'll finish up with here, and Brian, then we'll go to a different game. JP Sears, not the guy that he was in Oakland a few years back. I've watched a lot of him in El Paso. Innings eater type guy that probably should be in AAA right now, in my opinion. Like anytime I've seen him pop up for El Paso this year, he hasn't really like overly impressed me throwing the ball. So again, I think I fully expect the Cubs to score off of him. The question here is, can the Padres contribute? And I'll go back to something that I've been saying for a couple weeks. Like this lineup has underachieved like across the board. I mean, there are 4 or 5 guys that should be far better based on what they've done in their career. Should be far better than they are this year in the Padres lineup. I have to think that matters at some point. I have to think there's a mini breakout of sorts for this Padres offense at some point. And here, we're not even asking them to like outscore the Cubs. Like, I actually don't think they outscore the Cubs. You know, I think this is probably a game that the Cubs win, but can the Padres contribute? They absolutely can. 11 at -120 is a good bet, in my opinion. That should be more. This should be closer to 12. Kind of feel how I feel about that Marlins Rockies one last night. After we got off the show, that moved considerably. That got up to 12. We talked about it. You could have still got 11 on the show. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens with this one throughout the day. So if you can get that 11 over Padres Cubs, I think that's a good bet. Even at -120, I think this one is going to soar over in Wrigley tonight. Brian, throw your game out there. What total are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this Chicago-Baltimore game. White Sox bats came through again yesterday. This is a young team. Really, now they got Teal back in the lineup. They're a tough team to beat once they get Murakami back. This team could take off. They're going against Trey Gibson here, and he's a highly ranked prospect for Baltimore in that system. I don't see a ton of guys in the minors that have been impressive, but I think he's a little bit overrated right now. If you take a look at his game scores on the season, his average game score is 42. His best game came when he played Tampa. He had a 51, but he's not a guy I want pitching in this ballpark in this situation here with going against the Chicago team, in which I think continues to be a team that we can make some money on. From a bullpen standpoint for Baltimore, Heisley hasn't pitched the last 2 days, and Cano's only pitched once out of the last 5, so they're not in too bad a shape. But Wolfram's pitched 3 out of 4, Wells 2 out of 4, so some of their better arms are available, but I just don't think he's going to go very long in this game. The Baltimore offense, for the most part, they don't have a single player right now hitting in the top 100. And so I don't trust them. So I kind of like the White Sox in this game, but I also think the White Sox are going to be able to score some runs. You take a look at what they've done. They've got 2 of the top 10 hitters in the last week in Vargas and Gonzalez. They've also got a couple other guys hitting in the top 100. Everybody other than Colson Montgomery right now is hitting in the top 200. So they're hitting really well as a team. Montgomery is a guy who gets that power once in a while. And I like the situation. Fetty's going to give up some runs, but I think there's value on Chicago. And from a bullpen standpoint, Grant Taylor probably won't play tonight. He's pitched 2 of the last 3 days, including throwing 24 pitches yesterday. But other than him, the rest of the bullpen's in pretty good shape. And I really like the way the White Sox are hitting right now. So you can get the over 4.5 at this point right now. Let me just check that number real quick. Okay. It's over 4.5. You're laying about 125. But I still think that's a pretty good bet. So I think the White Sox get to 5 runs here with little problem, and I'll play that as my best bet on the show today.
Brian, I like that. My numbers also like the over in this game at 10.6. It's not by a ton, but they show the White Sox being the team that likely scores more of those. So I think you've found a really good way to play this. Tokyo Brandon, to you, White Sox, Orioles, anything side or total here?
I'll make it very quick so we can do a couple of other games. But before I do that, promotion time. It's $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk. Everything on WagerTalk, aside from $5 play, 5% plays, are $5 or free. You can also get any of our MLB seasons between now and the end of the World Series by using promo code MLB100. My strikeouts, walks, and outs projections are all on my YouTube channel. I made a video on it, so go check that out as well. This game, I'll make it very quick. The White Sox are hitting better than almost anyone in Major League Baseball, man. They're really cranking it right now, and the Orioles are not. No faith in either one of these pitchers. But the Orioles bullpen's playing pretty good. So I don't know. I think a White Sox team total over in the first 5 would probably be the way I would go if I were to bet it, especially if you can get a 1.5. That would be wonderful to take the over there. I think that would be a nice play.
Yeah, I feel like we're all kind of seeing it the similar ways. We all kind of see runs here. One other thing I'll throw out there is, so I was on Trey Gibson in his last start. Of course, the infamous Pete Alonso not covering first base to cost me a game was that game. And something that I kind of picked up from the Orioles broadcast, they were very reluctant to let Trey Gibson go very deep into that game. And he was pitching well. And that's concerning. That makes me like the over even more, because something's telling them to not have him go super deep. His stuff looked pretty good. He was only at like 64, 65 pitches. And they went to the bullpen on a day where they didn't even have like the freshest bullpen. So again, just another thing, if you these little things like, why don't they want him to go 3 times through the order? Does it mean he's going to get bombed the 3rd time through? I don't know. He has, this is a guy that hasn't been nearly as sharp at the big league. Like he had a really good run for the Tides, got the Tides hat on, Norfolk down in AAA. Hasn't been quite as good at the big league level. Really, he's had a couple of moments. Yeah, I can kind of see runs here, and it wouldn't surprise me if the White Sox score the majority of those. Brian, give me that. Just say your parlay leg with the price one more time.
Yeah, it was over 4.5 at minus 125, and I did check on the team total. It was 2.5, not 1.5. So that's not going to help you, TB.
Let me insert something. Oh, 2.5. Okay. Yeah. Let me insert something real quick. The code MLB100, you get $100 off between now and the World Series. It expires Tuesday night at midnight. Just let me
That's correct.
That. Yep. Okay. Yep, 2.5. I still like it, Brian. I still like 2.5 because it's probably plus money as well.
It is plus money. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't argue with that at all.
Tokyo Brandon, that's correct. Thank you for bringing that up. I was supposed to bring that up on the show more than I have to this point. So MLB 100, every Major League Baseball play for your handicapper of choice from now through the World Series. That code is active until midnight. So check that out. Vinny, my guy, Vinny G, says compliments of Aaron Nola. That's right. That was my 5% play. And he said, Brian gave me the Nerfy Yerfy of the day. We appreciate you for the donation, Vinny G. We're going to get this one more play in here, TB. I will go to you. Alex Rand says, can we talk? Twins Astros. He kind of likes the Twins today. So I'll go to you first, Twins Astros, and whatever else you had to throw out there.
Yeah. Joe Ryan's having a great year here. And then the Twins are having a pretty good year here as well. Let me check. Oh, it's Burrows for the Astros. Yeah. Okay. Not a guy I like very much. I like Joe Ryan a lot more, but that Houston bullpen is atrocious. They are bad. Minnesota's hitting a lot better than the Astros right now, and Joe Ryan has great numbers against these Astros as well. So if anything, there's 2 ways I would approach this. Would be an Astros team total under in the first 5. Do not put money on this Minnesota bullpen. Or I would take Minnesota to the first 5 on the money line. Either one of those plays I think would be a decent bet. So pick your poison for that one. It's not my parlay leg though.
Brian, let's get you in here. Twins Astros. How you seeing this one?
I disagree with TB when he says the Astros bullpen is bad. Ever since Hader's come back,
Minnesota.
14, I'm sorry.
Minnesota's bullpen.
Okay,
Did
I
I
thought
say
you were saying
Astros?
Houston's bullpen was bad. Okay,
If I said Astros, I misspoke. I meant Minnesota's.
gotcha.
And
Okay.
I know that would have been a misspoke because last week you said the Astros bullpen was good. I pushed back on it a little, and they came out and gave up 0 runs. So yeah, no, I got
Minnesota's
you.
bullpen. I got them ranked
Gotcha, okay.
27.
You
Yeah.
scared me for a minute because
No.
I like this Houston bullpen now. But that said, I fully understand why you would like the Twins here. I think that's a good number. You're getting a big edge here out of starters. Joe Ryan is been terrific all season long. The Houston bats, other than the top of the lineup, they've got a few good bats there. But they lost a shortstop last night. He got hurt, so he's back on the IL. So now they're down to like 2 or 3 major league bats on this Houston team. Just pitch around Alvarez, and you should be able to be in pretty good shape. Burrows is a guy who has just not lived up to it. He looked good in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been a good team to develop pitching. Now he comes to Houston, and not so much here. You're getting them at basically slightly more than a pick really right now for Joe Ryan, -110 to -115 with a total of 8.5. I prefer the Minnesota side here. No, the bullpen is not good in Minnesota, but I think we're going to get 7 innings out of Ryan. So we got 2 innings where I think Houston's bullpen has a definite advantage. We have 6 to 7 innings in which the Minnesota starter has big advantage, and you're getting them like slightly less than or slightly more than a pick'em game. So yeah, I like Minnesota here.
I like Minnesota here too. Has any starter been more disappointing than Mike Burrows this year? I mean, this is a guy that they went out and traded for him. He was, of course, kind of lost in the shuffle in Pittsburgh. I guess the mindset was, well, Pittsburgh's got all these young pitchers. Like he's struggling to crack the rotation. When he got in, he was good for a period of time. But since he's got to Houston, and don't let he had a good start last time out against the Jays. Don't let that fool you. He has not been good this year. And I think he would have, I think he would have gotten bounced from this rotation already had anyone else. I mean, the Astros have had injuries. They've had guys like Ryan Weiss not pan out. McCullers banged up and hasn't fully panned out. So it's like Burrows, just by sort of happenstance, has held down his rotation spot, but like with a mid-5 ERAs and it just hasn't been very good. So Joe Ryan, again, I say this every time we talk about him. Top 10, top 15 starter in Major League Baseball right now.
10.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic. And even the game, even last time out against the Dodgers, he has 1 inning where he gets into a little bit of trouble, settles in, and pitches a great game against the Dodgers. The start before kind of battled a little bit, didn't have his best stuff, still goes 5 shutout innings against the Rangers. Every time out at this point, he's just like, he's excellent. He's probably going to be some team's going to probably mortgage their future to try to get him at the deadline if he's available. But as far as this game's concerned, big edge in starting pitching for the Twins. If their better bullpen arms can just hold it down, I think they win this game. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, the only decent starts Burrows has had on the season has been on the road. This is not a good ballpark if you go pulled fly balls to left field. At home this year, his game scores, I just talked about a 44 for the Baltimore pitcher I'm looking to fade. His game scores at home this year, 25 against the A's, 16 against Pittsburgh, 22 against Seattle, 43 against the Yankees, 52 against St. Louis, 53 against Boston, 30 against the Angels. He has not pitched well in this building at all, and I think he'll give up some runs here. And Minnesota's, say what you want about their bullpen, they've hit pretty well this year, and they've been a surprise in that regard.
This is what this is going to be my leg of the parlay. I was on the fence with a couple different ones. I like the conversation here. I'm going to go Twins on the money line. Brian, what is that right now?
Anywhere from -109 to -115. Choose your poison.
I saw quite a few -110s. I'll go -110. I'll give myself a good number in the parlay. Apologize in advance if you get worse than that. But yeah, I think you can find Twins -110. Gregory, very much appreciate the comment here. He says you guys are all far superior. I guess I want to clarify. I don't think we're superior handicappers to the other handicappers at WagerTalk. Like when it comes to baseball, we are, because that's all the three of us do. We eat, sleep, breathe baseball. And I'll probably get myself in trouble for saying this. I'll die on this hill. If you are not eat, breathing, and sleeping the sport that you are handicapping, you probably aren't winning, or it's like going to be very hard to win long term. I've never agreed with like some people. I don't know how they do it. Can handicap 7, 8, 9 different sports. That'll never be me. It'll probably never be you guys as well. This is all we do every day. And then as soon as the baseball season ends, all I do every day is college basketball. And I find a little bit of time to do a 30-team NFL football league, which is like, even that starts to get a lot. So I don't know how people are firing out picks on 8 sports. Look at Carmine. Like, he eats, breathes, and sleeps soccer. And he's having a great World Cup. That's how it should be. So yeah, I hope we finish 1, 2, 3 in baseball this year, because obviously there's variance, but I don't think anyone else is putting the time in that we do. And I'll just say it. We deserve it. So I appreciate the comment, and hopefully it helps you guys cash some tickets. Yeah, it is good. Listen, Russell, the other thing is that because we are do this all day long, every day, and we're passionate about it, we are going to disagree at times. And I think that's good. I don't want to come on here and just have someone agree with me. I'd rather have pushback with actual, like, tangible things you can push back with. And I think it makes for a better show. So Tokyo Brandon, we do need a parlay leg from you. Do you want to go to a different game, or have we already talked about what you want to use?
Let me just mention first, baseball is different sport than other sports. Baseball is a lot like a soap opera. Like if you stop watching baseball for like 3 days and you come back to it, it's like a soap opera. Fred divorced Marla and now he's married to Celine, and Joe is in jail all in 3 days, right? This is baseball, right?
TB, 100%. I'm going to, again, this will make some people mad. I don't think you need to be a big time ball knower to bet the NFL. I think the NFL, you really just need to understand markets, and you'll probably hit half your bets, because it's a hard league to beat as it is. And you need to be willing to oppose huge money, because it's such high volume and the public does influence the lines a little bit. You can't beat Major League Baseball over a 6-month span unless you are immersed and ball. That is my soapbox moment. I'll take that comment to my grave right there. Brian, sorry, were you going to add something there?
Nope, I firmly agree. The soap opera, I thought it was a strange analogy, but then I thought about it. I said, because we talk about it all the time. 1 week we love a team, the next week we hate the team, and it doesn't happen. We're professional bettors. We get guys to do this all the time. The normal fans do that, but in football, especially the NFL, to me, it's just all a numbers game. There's so much information out there. Everybody knows everything about it because it's the number one sport in this country. It's tough to find edges in it. Hats off to everybody who does well in the NFL, because it's a grind. Yep.
I got to say, though, he says that it's a grind. Sorry, WNBA and World Cup. Yeah, that's true. But, again, go check out what Ski's doing. I mean, he's just Prince in the WNBA, because he only really focuses on NBA and WNBA. Those are the handicappers you want in that specific sport. Again, I don't know who does what. Yeah. That I muted myself. Yeah. I probably should have muted myself right there. Anyway, TB, yeah, it's probably...
Yeah, going to say something.
Subconsciously, Kelly has got into my brain and told me to mute myself and stop talking about that. But go ahead, TB. What are you closing out the parlay with?
Yeah. We eat, breathe, and sleep baseball. MLB 100, $100 off. Any capper who does MLB between now and the end of the World Series, it's a great deal. You can also still get a double play, 2 of us 3. And great deals at WagerTalk.com. It's $5 Tuesday as well. So I'm going to go with Miami, Colorado again. I'm going back to the well. Man, Miami is just a much better team than Colorado. I don't care what anyone says. Colorado home field, my butt. They are not a good home team. And, the atmosphere, both pitchers have to play in the atmosphere. So I'll take the better pitcher. I'll take the better bullpen. I'll take the better hitting team, and I'll take the better fielding team. And I'll take Miami for my parlay leg here. I think it's minus 155 to minus 160. So for a parlay leg, I'll take it. Give me Miami. I like Yuri Perez and how he pitches against these guys as well. He's got great numbers against them. Granted, he's probably going to have a game like Alcantara had yesterday where he gives up 5 runs. But when you're facing a team that's probably going to give up 9, I'll give up 5. That's fine.
Current number goes
Yeah,
anywhere
what's the
from
number?
45 to 55, so you can get it at 150. And
Okay.
as opposed, in my opinion, on this game, as opposed to yesterday, or I did like Miami, but thought the line was too high, this one makes more sense. I think there's a bigger differential in starting pitching in this one, and I'm not going to lay that big number on the road with Miami, but that would be the only way I would go.
I would be against you guys on this one. I actually think that I don't think it's total. I really don't think this matchup is much different than yesterday's, yet you're getting a much better price on the Rockies. Again, I guess the way I approach this series, I thought, and I still think that this will be a pretty competitive series. Now, yesterday I didn't have much pushback on the Marlins at where they were priced when you can get them -1. At one point that even went down when we got off the show. There was a point where you could have got -127, 128 with the Marlins, and then it came back up a little bit. I really had no problem with them at that price, but to move 30 cents, this is really not when you talk about putting Yuri Perez at altitude. I mean, the guy's from the Caribbean. I don't think he's been up in these parts very often, right? I would have to go back and see, and I still have some more research to do on this game. I'll have to go back and see exactly if he's ever even pitched at Coors or in the altitude, but still, to me, that waters down his I guess his edge a little bit. Whereas you've got a guy like Tanner Gordon, who's another guy in this line of the Rockies pitchers that they kind of get because they seem to be okay pitching at the altitude. Tanner Gordon spent a lot of time in Albuquerque as well. He's actually been rehabbing down there. I thought he was pretty solid. I bet Albuquerque last week when he rehabbed, and I thought he threw the ball pretty well. So again, this is a scenario where I would only look to the +1.5. I'd want, because again, bad teams that find ways to lose games. Rockies are on that list, but here they're -110, -115 in that market. I think this is a competitive series. I think all of these games are going to be close. Yesterday's game was back and forth. Marlins ended up getting it done 10-7. I'm not saying they don't find a way here, but I think it's a worse bet than yesterday. That's just the chat wants disagreement. Well, you got one here because I would go with the Rockies. But for the parlay sake, I hope you win because again, a Marlins win helps me in the long term. So, hope you win for the sake of the parlay.
Yeah.
All right, we have reached the end of the show. Again, it is $5 Tuesday. It is the final day of the month, which means that MLB 100 coupon, which is I believe it's Tokyo. Brandon, I don't have it in front of me. Tell them what the coupon gets you again.
MLB 100, you get $100 off from today to the end of the World Series. All access, every play for your favorite capper who does MLB.
It's a great deal if you want to lock in MLB from now until the end of the year. Also, a great deal if you want two of the three of us on the screen, the double play package. But it's Tuesday.
Expires at midnight. Sorry.
Yes, that expires at midnight. It is Tuesday, which means all of us will have best bets up on our page for just $5. So make sure you check that out. As far as today's parlay, we hit yesterday, which means we are now only down a quarter of a unit on the parlay. We're basically even. Got to get over the hump, and we're going to do it with this 3-teamer today. I'm going with Twins on the money line. Tokyo Brandon is going with the Marlins on the money line, and Bryan Leonard is going White Sox, Orioles, first 5, team total over 4.5. Again, White Sox, Orioles, first 5, team total over 4.5. Marlins money line -150.
Not team total. First half, it's a full game.
Yeah, my bad. We were talking. Yes, sorry about that. let me restart because I wrote down team total as we were talking about it, and I, yes, it is first 5 full game total, I'm sorry, first 5 total, first 5 total. White Sox Orioles over 4.5, first 5 total. You should know what that is but again, we'll louder for the people in the back. First 5 total over 4.5, White Sox Orioles. We then have Marlins money line -150, Twins money line -110. That's the show today. That's the parlay. Brian, go ahead and close it out. I gotta stop talking.
You said first half again. We do. I have no problem with the first half over the 2.5, but it is the full game over 4.5.
Hold on a second. That's right. Wait. I
we think a lot better than we speak.
No. You got to go say what your leg is again, because we bounced around so much on totals in that Orioles White Sox discussion. I totally wrote the wrong thing down. So,
okay,
Brian, what is your leg of the parlay?
We are looking at the Chicago White Sox team total over 4.5.
Okay, so it's a White Sox total.
Yeah, over. I'm confused. Over 4.5, and you're getting plus money back.
We're all out
White
of it.
Sox,
but we're gonna
White
win.
Sox team total. Someone says Trig, slow down. Here's the problem. We talked about every which way to play that game, and we all kind of liked it. So yeah. I just got confused as to which one that he liked the best.
Over 4.5 minus. It's up to 130 now, but it was 125 when I gave it out earlier.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so here's the deal. Yes, people are okay. Now that you're still with us, first of all, I think all of those overs are winners. If you just want my opinion, I think any which way you bet the over in that game is probably a win. But Brian's leg of the parlay is White Sox full game team total over 4.5. Did I get it right?
You got it right, sir.
There it is. White Sox full game team total over 4.5. Yeah, someone says English major in college. I only lasted 1 semester as an English major in college. I switched my major to business probably because I can't talk or, it didn't feel like
my major was Japanese, so don't ask me for English grammar questions.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got the White Sox full game team total over 4.5, and then we've got full game money lines on the Marlins -150 and the Twins -110. I think we've got it. That is the show. That is your 3-teamer. We'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.